Hi guys and welcome to my channel. My name is Tina, this is Bailey, and my aim is to improve your drawings just like others have done for me when I just started out. So in today's video we'll be covering dog's eyes, more particularly these dog's eyes. I'm very lucky to have two beautiful models at home, which is Raja, which we've drawn already, the Bernese mountain dog. And now for this one we'll use Bailey's eyes because they have such intriguing colors. Okay, so on to the drawing. First things first, we are going to block in some colors to start with. I used my soft pastel mostly from Unison to get the job done, but note that you can use just pencils for this as well, especially on smaller pieces like this. To start, I just outline the eyes with a warm dark brown color. Make sure you already give that some texture by following the direction of the hairs. Then I add some other colors, a pink tone at the bottom left and a lot of this orangey brown as my base color. On the right side, we're going to repeat this process. A little bit about the soft pastels I'm using. I love working with Unison, but they are a really soft pastel. I personally love working with very soft pastel brands, even on Pastel Mat with its gritty texture. Some say they don't like the softer pastels on paper with a gritty texture as they will wear down much faster. But I think this all depends on how you work. I tend to work very light, not laying down much in the early layers. This is ideal because 1. My pastels don't wear down so fast, and 2. This means being able to add more layers. Next, we're going to blend everything out with our soft tool. Like always, make sure to go from light to dark, otherwise you'll smudge those darker colors right into your lighter ones, making them way too dark. For the white part, I'm using a very light blue. Don't just use white as your underlayer. By using different colors, you're building up the fur, giving it a very rich look. Also, it couldn't be easier than with pastels where you can just layer lights over dark. After we get that underlayer in, we're going to start on the fur. I'm using an orangey brown and I'm going to put that all over the darker brown. Make sure to use shorter strokes and following the direction of the fur. Then take out a lighter color to go over the lighter brown. I'm using this ivory color and this is where the more highlighted area is. Don't forget to overlap each other a little bit here. With pastels you shouldn't worry too much about how it looks in the beginning stages, as you will be going over this with a lot of layers. Then with this brown pencil I'm going to add some hairs starting at the top and working my way down. When you add them, going from the darker to the lighter area, it helps define that light fur some more. Just keep adding some strokes with this color all over this brown. To get the fur just right, adding more layers with different colors helps to build it up. This fur, for example, has a reddish orange look to it, like a fox, just a little less red. So I need to adjust my colors and look for something that matches this. That's why I'm using a more orange reddish brown here, and like we did just now, we're going to go over all of the darker areas. Next, I want to give that eyebrow and the area around there some more shape, and for this I'm taking back my ivory, making sure to curve your strokes right above the eye to help define the eyebrow. The fur that goes into the lighter one has a more straight line. And while I have this in my hand, I'm also going to use it on the lower part as well as a little bit on the top part. Just make sure you don't overdo this. To make a smooth transition from one color to the other, you need to look for the right color. It can't be too light, nor can it be too dark, so I settled for this one. With this you can just cover the entire border, so to speak, where the two colors meet. To darken everything a little bit up, we're going to go over this with a darker color. Again, just like before, make sure to not overdo this. How silly as it may seem, when you keep adding a little bit of everything, it's the sum of all these layers that will give you an amazing look. Then we're going to give the eyes some more definition. With the dark brown, we're going to add in the eyelashes. Next, switch up your colors. This is the part where there isn't any fur growing, so we can just color this in, shaping those highlights and shadows. I'm going to use my black to give it more definition. If you like this video so far and you like my other content, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate your support as this helps me grow my channel and reach other people just like yourself. Switching it back to my ivory, I'm sorry if I seem to be all over the place, but I get easily distracted, so there's that. And also, when you've filled in some other parts, you start to see where you need to adjust some colors. So this is a color we'll be using mostly for our lighter brown. Follow the direction of the fur and adjust your lengths accordingly. Like the fur at the top is mostly straight and also shorter, while the fur on the lower part has a curve that goes to the left and it's also a little bit longer. Next, we want to give this area some more definition, so I'm taking some other brown to add some fur in this color. As you can see, by doing this, we're adding this new fur, while at the same time giving definition to the fur that was there before. But this layer isn't over. Just like on the darker area, we need to give it a more reddish tone. So I searched for the brightest reddish brown I could find to go over it. Now if you don't have as many colors, that's okay. I also started out with not as many as I do now. Just try your best to pick out a similar color and you'll be just fine. Moving on to the white now. I'm actually already using white to go from the brown to the white area. I am also adding some white fur everywhere on the lighter blue there. On camera it might not show through exactly the way it really is. After this I just used some more brown and then using some more white on top again. But we still need to add some definition to the white, so for this we'll be adding some gray. In the meantime I'm going to skip through the right side as I'm going to start on the left eye. When I'm finished with the eye, I'm just going to let the right side play at a slower speed than this without any voiceover. That way you can still follow along if you want to, but you've seen and heard all of the important stuff already. Before I start with the next part, if you're like me and you like to draw realism, make sure you sign up for my newsletter. Each month I'll send you photos just like these. You'll find the link in the description below. Starting on the eye itself, I'm just going to zoom in a little bit more so you guys can see it better. First up, I'm going to use an orange brown again, which will just apply at the edges. Next to this, we're going to fill it up with some white. And then I searched for greenish tones and I finally settled on this one, and we're actually using this very light green to blend the white and the brown. Then I'm taking my blue, again just like we did with the white, we're putting it down next to the colors that are already on there. Follow it up with a darker blue, but make sure you leave your paper blank where the highlight is supposed to go. And then we'll just pop the pupil in with black. Here again, leave some space blank if your highlight covers the pupil a bit. And although you can put white on top of darker colors and it will still show, you can never achieve the same level of white intensity had you just put color on there first. To blend everything out, I'm using a blending stump. And as you can see, I'm pulling some of the blue into the green to create those small interesting lines. I'm just tapping with my finger here to press my pastel a little bit more into the paper. We'll add another color to our green to brighten it up a bit. And we'll add another blue, a bit lighter, and as you add this, make sure you're making marks, kind of like how you would draw fur and not just plain color. This way, when you blend this out, this gives you that beautiful detail for the eye. With the black, we're darkening it up a bit in the same way you did those blue scribblings. Another layer of blue before I used my black from Cretacolor to darken up the pupil. Now I'm just giving the inside of the pupil a lighter tone. And I use this black to darken the blue up. Time for another blue now. I'll just show you a close-up of the eyes in the meantime so you can see how the eye is built up. With the blue, we're adding yet another layer of those scribblings. I also decided I needed a little bit more of that brown at the edge. On top of the other blue, I'm adding a darker blue, but just a little bit. Now I'm going to put in the highlight and I'll start first with my white. Just look closely at your reference picture as your guide. To give it a little bit more depth, I'm also adding some bright blue, and for some parts I'm even adding a darker blue as well. Sometimes when you look at your work closely, you'll see all the different lines and colors, but then when you take a look from a normal distance, you'll see how everything combines to this beautiful realistic piece. To tweak it some more, just add some more lines with the blue and press them into your paper. We'll also use our white to brighten our highlights up a bit. Same goes for the black, which we'll just use to darken the edge up. When every color is in place, it's time to see which values you need to adjust, like I'm doing now. To finish this up, we're going to darken up some of her corners as well as putting in some tiny hairs there. But that basically covers the entire eye. I really love working this big for eyes as it gives you the chance to put in a lot of detail. Now, like I said before, I'm going to let the other side play without any voiceover. I'll just put it a little slower so you can clearly see what's happening. If there is anything else you would like to see, please let me know in the comments below, and thank you so much for watching. I hope you liked this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, and I hope to see you again next Friday. And in the meantime, have a great week. I hope you liked this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up and make sure to subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate your support, as it helps to grow my channel and reach other people like yourself. Hope to see you again next Friday, and in the meantime, have a great week.